with this video, what I'm going to be working on is building the exercise that will get me to my attentional fixation point. So the way we're going to do that is by building up an exercise from very simple one part to adding on more components to it. And it's going to get more complex, and it'll eventually reach this point where I'm having to focus my full attention on it, or I drop the balls and I can't do the exercise. And that's good because that trains my attention control and it trains my focus. And those are great things. Those make the rest of life easier. So this one is, I'm going to start with 2 balls, and I'm going to just start by throwing them up together. And this, like I've said before, might put some people at their fixation point because it's already kind of demanding, and you might find that at least when you throw them and the balls are in the air, you have to pay full attention to them. So I recommend, if this is already your fixation point, stick with it, and you don't have to add anything else. If you want to slightly add a slightly more of a challenge, you can just sort of walk in place as you're doing it. Walking in place adds a very tiny amount of attention that you have to, extra attention you have to invest in the activity, so you can do that. But for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add something even more with the feet, even more demanding, which is I'm going to be doing, so I'm going to take my foot and I'm going to go like this. So that's, I'm just sort of one foot's in front of the other. You can pick whichever. I'm doing my right foot, and I'm just going in front, crossing over my other foot, and then crossing back. And I'm going to combine that with this activity now. See, so what's happening is there's 2 components to this activity, and they're interacting through their tempos, right? I'm trying to keep kind of a solid, regular tempo with the throws and with my foot, and they're not quite the same. So I'm actually keeping 2 different rhythms in my head. Okay, so this is good. I can keep doing this. I'm actually probably going to want to do both sides just for balance, so I'm going to do the other side. Right, notice that they're not exactly the same rhythm. It's not, although actually now they're getting there. So what you'll find is that your brain wants to integrate the 2 activities. It wants to find a strategy to make them as seamless as possible and easily integrated. So one strategy that the brain will use is to try to make it very regular and combine the rhythms in some way, as opposed to having them be separate, right? See, this is kind of, I'm keeping them separate, and my brain will try to sync them. Okay, so that's pretty good, but that wasn't quite my fixation point yet, so what I'm going to do is add yet another component, which is going to be the other leg. So I'm going to switch back to the original side of doing this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to work in the other leg doing the kind of perpendicular movement. So right now my right leg is going in this line, it's going back and forth. My left leg is going to go front and back between the left and right of my right leg. Okay, so you can see what's happening now. Alright, so that's with the legs. I'm going to continue with the same hand movement, so let's see how that goes. So, a lot of people having a good time over there. So now what's happening is I've not only added a 3rd component to this, but I'm having to use my working memory to keep track of my feet. Which is to say, I do the right foot, and then I do the left foot, and I have to just keep track of that. Okay, I'm going to try the other side now. So let's do that. This is always where it gets tricky and exciting because your brain has to totally figure it out again. And it's this process of reconfiguring that is confusing for the brain and helps you grow in a more horizontal way. It helps your brain say, or your brain is like adapting to a slight change in the activity, and it's saying to itself, it's sort of building a higher level strategy of general adaptation and flexibility. So let me go back to what I was just doing. Right. Okay, so I'm actually not yet at my fixation point because I can keep talking and doing this activity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually change the hand movement and stay with the foot movement. So the hand movement is going to increase to something faster. You know what? Actually, let me stay with two hands. I'm going to just do this time. So let's try this. So you notice the tempo in the hands has increased. Okay, even this is still, I'm still finding that I can do this. Let me try the other side now. The foot movement that I'm doing right now is actually sort of similar, but not really, but a little bit to capoeira. They do this thing with their feet. It's kind of a back and forth thing like that. But anyway, okay, now I'm gonna make it even harder with the hands so I can really try to get to my fixation point. Okay, so what was I doing? This, right. This is getting there. All right, let me switch feet and switch hands. Aha, here we go. Oops. So you can see because I'm dropping it a lot, this means, and when I start to talk, I immediately drop the balls. This means I'm there. Okay, I'm going to do the same side with the feet, same direction, different hands. Slightly easier because I'm a lefty and this is my left hand, which means I practiced it more. But that's pretty good. I think this is my fixation point. So you've just seen the evolution of me building from simple, very simple exercise up to a fixation point exercise. And I hope you try this yourself. This is really the practice. This is the whole point of these exercises, is to be attuned to ourselves so that we can build up slowly, incrementally, to more difficult, more attention-getting exercises or attention-demanding exercises, because that's what we're trying to train. So thanks for watching. Keep practicing and you will grow. Talk to you next time.